Imagine you're in a field and you spot two rabbits. If you try to chase both at the same time, chances are you'll end up catching neither. This Russian proverb sets the tone for our journey, the importance of focusing on one thing at a time. In today's world, distractions abound and it's easy to get lost trying to do too much. But as we'll see, extraordinary results come from narrowing your focus and pursuing what matters most. Let's explore why chasing two rabbits or two goals rarely leads to success and how choosing one can change everything. The idea of the one thing is simple yet powerful. It's about identifying the single most important task, goal, or action that will make everything else easier or unnecessary. This concept isn't just theory, it's been proven time and again in business, sports, and life. By focusing your energy and resources on one priority, you unlock the potential for extraordinary results. Throughout this video, we'll see how this principle applies to different areas and how you can use it to transform your own life. In the movie City Slickers, a memorable scene unfolds between Curly and Mitch. Curly reveals the secret of life. One thing, just one thing. This wisdom, delivered in a comedic setting, holds profound truth. Many of us spend our days juggling multiple tasks, believing that success comes from doing more. But as Curly points out, it's about finding that one thing and sticking to it. The challenge, of course, is figuring out what your one thing is. Once you do, everything else falls into place. Sometimes life throws us into turmoil and we hit a wall. For the author, this happened after years of building a successful company. Despite hard work and dedication, things started to crumble. Seeking help, he found a coach who offered a radical solution: focus on finding 14 key people for the organization. This singular focus led to a period of sustained growth and extraordinary success. The lesson: even when you think you're focused, narrowing it further can make all the difference. As the company grew, the language of the one thing emerged. Coaching sessions shifted from lists of tasks to a single question: what's the one thing you can do this week such that by doing it everything else would be easier or unnecessary? This approach led to remarkable results. The pattern became clear. Huge success came from narrowing concentration, while varied results came from scattered focus. The light bulb moment was realizing that going small is the path to big achievements. Why do some people achieve more than others, even though everyone has the same number of hours in a day? The answer lies in going small, ignoring what you could do and focusing on what you should do. Not all things matter equally. By identifying what matters most and dedicating your energy to it, you connect your actions directly to your goals. Going small isn't about shrinking your dreams, it's about subtracting distractions and multiplying your impact. On Domino Day in the Netherlands, a world record was set by lining up over 4 million dominoes. With a single flick, a chain reaction unleashed surprising power. Each domino represents potential energy, and lining them up accumulates more. The domino effect illustrates how one action can set off a sequence of extraordinary results. In life, priorities aren't lined up for us, we must do it ourselves. Success is sequential, not simultaneous. One thing at a time, and over time, the geometric potential of success is unleashed. Dominoes don't just topple others, they can topple bigger ones. A single domino can bring down another that's 50% larger. This geometric progression means that small actions, repeated and compounded, can lead to massive outcomes. Imagine the 10th domino as tall as an NFL quarterback, the 18th rivaling the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and the 31st looming over Mount Everest. The lesson is clear. Prioritize, start with the most important thing, and let the domino effect build extraordinary results. Proof of the one thing is everywhere. Successful companies often have one product or service they're most known for. KFC started with a single chicken recipe. Coors grew with one product from one brewery. Intel's main revenue comes from microprocessors. Google's one thing is search, enabling its advertising business. Even Star Wars, with its massive merchandise revenue, relies on movies as the one thing that makes everything else possible. The lesson: find your one thing and let it drive your success. Apple's journey is a study in creating environments where extraordinary one things can exist and evolve. From Macs to iMacs, iTunes, iPods, iPhones, and iPads, Apple's focus shifted but always centered on one product at a time. Each new golden gadget created a halo effect, making users more likely to adopt the whole Apple family. The takeaway: even as your one thing evolves, maintaining focus is key to sustained success. The one thing isn't just about products, it's about people. Walt Disney had Roy, his brother, who helped him get started. Sam Walton had L.S. Robson, his father-in-law, who provided crucial support. Albert Einstein had Max Talmud, his mentor. Oprah Winfrey credits her father and Jeffrey D. Jacobs for pivotal guidance. The Beatles had George Martin, the fifth Beatle. No one succeeds alone. Everyone has one person who made all the difference. Extraordinary success often comes from one intense passion or skill. Pat Matthews became a renowned painter by painting one painting a day. Angelo Amorico built his business from his passion for Italy. Passion leads to disproportionate time spent practicing, which turns into skill, and skill leads to better results. This virtuous cycle can define an extraordinary life. Find your passion, develop your skill, and let it drive your journey. Gilbert Tuhobani's passion for running saved his life and shaped his career. After surviving a horrific attack in Burundi, he escaped and continued running, eventually becoming a champion and a beloved coach in Texas. His passion became a skill, which led to a profession and an opportunity to give back. The one thing running defined his extraordinary life. This story shows how focusing on one passion can ignite and sustain a remarkable journey. Bill Gates is a prime example of harnessing the one thing. His passion for computers led to programming skills, which connected him to Paul Allen. Together, they founded Microsoft, focusing on one product: basic interpreters for the Altair 8800. Gates' journey continued with a single foundation aimed at tackling tough problems, focusing on vaccines as the most impactful tool. The one thing principle guided Gates from business to philanthropy, proving its power in building an extraordinary life. Today, opportunities and information abound. The unintended consequence of abundance is overwhelm. We're bombarded with choices and often feel we attempt too much but accomplish too little. The path to more is through less. By living the one thing, you make the best decisions, experience life at an extraordinary level, and never look back. The challenge is to begin. How do you choose from all that life offers? Before embracing the one thing, we must confront the myths and misinformation that keep us from accepting it. These are the lies of success, beliefs that mislead and derail us. Common sayings and truthy metaphors often turn out to be false. Over time, these myths become familiar and start to sound like truth, leading us to base important decisions on them. To maximize our potential, we must put these lies to bed and clear the path for the one thing. There are 6 major lies that stand between you and success. 1. Everything matters equally. 2. Multitasking. 3. A disciplined life. 4. Willpower is always on will call. 5. A balanced life. And 6. Big is bad. These beliefs become operational principles that drive us the wrong way. If we want to maximize our potential, we must recognize and reject these lies, focusing instead on what truly matters. Equality is a worthy ideal in justice, but in the real world of results, things are never equal. Not all tasks, people, or opportunities matter equally. Understanding this is the basis of great decisions. When everything feels urgent and important, we become busy but not productive. Activity is often unrelated to productivity, and busyness rarely takes care of business. Achievers operate differently. They work from a clear sense of priority. To-do lists are everywhere, but they often tyrannize us with trivial tasks. Most to-do lists are survival lists, not success lists. Achievers create lists around extraordinary results, not just intentions. To-do lists tend to be long and pull you in all directions, while success lists are short and aim you in a specific direction. If your list isn't built around success, it won't take you there. Pareto's principle, or the 80-20 rule, states that a minority of causes, inputs, or effort usually lead to a majority of results, outputs, or rewards. In other words, a small amount of effort creates most of the results. Applying this principle turns a to-do list into a success list. Focus on the vital few, not the trivial many, and you'll unlock extraordinary productivity. Pareto's principle is powerful, but you can take it further. Identify the 20% that matters, then go even smaller, find the vital few of the vital few. Keep narrowing your focus until you reach the essential one thing. Whether in business, music, or personal goals, this extreme application of Pareto unlocks the highest levels of achievement. To harness the power of focus, remember these big ideas. Go small, don't focus on being busy, focus on being productive. Go extreme, keep asking what matters most until only one thing is left. Say no, defer anything else until your most important work is done. Don't get trapped in the check-off game. Success is found in doing what matters most, not in checking off every item. Multitasking is a lie. Studies show that frequent multitaskers are actually worse at everything. The belief that multitasking is efficient or effective is widespread, but it's actually a way to get less done. When you try to do two things at once, you either can't or won't do either well. Multitasking is merely the opportunity to screw up more than one thing at a time. The term multitasking originated with computers, not people. Even computers process one piece of code at a time, switching rapidly between tasks. Humans can do two things at once, like walking and talking, but can't focus on two things at once. Our attention bounces back and forth, leading to mistakes and missed opportunities. The modern office is full of distractions, making it hard to stay on task. Juggling appears to be multitasking, but it's actually rapid task switching. When you switch from one task to another, you lose time and effectiveness. Complex tasks require more time to reorient, and task switching exacts a cost few realize. Researchers estimate we lose 28% of an average workday to multitasking ineffectiveness. The lesson: focus on one task at a time for best results. Our brains have channels allowing us to process different kinds of data in different parts. You can talk and walk at the same time, but only one activity is in focus. When tasks demand more attention or overlap channels, focus is lost. Divided attention leads to mistakes and dropped tasks. The key is to shine a spotlight on what matters and avoid dividing your focus. Multitasking divides brain capability, leading to lost time, mistakes, and stress. Chronic multitaskers develop a distorted sense of how long tasks take and make poorer decisions. Media multitaskers experience a thrill with switching, which can be addictive. The results are clear: multitasking slows us down and makes us less effective. Distraction is natural, but multitasking takes a toll. At home or at work, distractions lead to poor choices, painful mistakes, and unnecessary stress. When you try to do too much at once, you end up doing nothing well. Figure out what matters most in the moment and give it your undivided attention. The principle of the one thing requires undivided focus. The idea that successful people are disciplined is a myth. Success doesn't require you to be a full-time disciplined person. Achievement is a short race, a sprint fueled by discipline just long enough for habit to kick in. The trick is to choose the right habit and bring just enough discipline to establish it. Once the habit is formed, it becomes routine and easier to sustain. Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps is a case study in selected discipline. Diagnosed with ADHD, he struggled to focus as a child, but by channeling all his energy into swimming daily, he developed a powerful habit. Training 7 days a week gave him a 52-day advantage over competitors. Selected discipline led to world records and simplified his life. The right habit liberates you from monitoring everything. Habits are hard only in the beginning. Over time, they require less energy and effort to maintain. Research shows it takes an average of 66 days to acquire a new habit. Stick with the discipline long enough for it to become routine. Once a habit is established, you can build on it or start another. The right habits make everything else easier. Acquiring one positive habit can create a halo effect, making other things easier. Studies show that students who developed one habit reported less stress, better dietary habits, decreased consumption of alcohol and caffeine, and fewer dirty dishes. Doing the most important thing regularly makes everything else easier. The right habits seem to do better than others because they focus on what matters most. Willpower is often seen as the singular source of personal strength, but it's not always available. Building success around full strength, on-demand willpower is unsuccessful. Willpower comes and goes, and it's not just sitting around waiting for your call. The key is to understand its limitations and manage it wisely. The marshmallow test at Stanford revealed the importance of willpower. Children were offered a treat and told they could have a second if they waited 15 minutes. Only 3 out of 10 managed to delay gratification. Later studies showed that those who waited fared better academically and socially. Willpower is a huge indicator of future success, but it's often in short supply. Think of willpower like the power bar on your cell phone. Every morning you start with a full charge, but each act of will uses it up. Willpower has a limited battery life but can be recharged with downtime. Winning in one situation makes you more likely to lose later because you have less willpower. Managing willpower is essential for success. Research shows that even a small increase in cognitive load can drain willpower. Students asked to memorize a 7-digit number were nearly twice as likely to choose cake over fruit salad. The more we use our mind, the less minding power we have. Willpower is like a fast-twitch muscle that gets tired and needs rest. Managing cognitive load is key to preserving willpower. The brain consumes a significant portion of our energy. Most conscious activity happens in the prefrontal cortex, responsible for focus and willpower. When resources are low, the prefrontal cortex suffers first. Studies show that willpower is depleted when blood sugar drops. Foods that elevate blood sugar evenly, like complex carbohydrates and proteins, are the fuel of choice for high achievers. Literally, you are what you eat. When willpower is low, we revert to default settings. Research on Israeli parole judges showed that decisions were more favorable after breaks when willpower was replenished. As energy is spent, judges collapse into their default choice, no parole. The lesson: when willpower runs out, average is often the result. Managing your default settings is crucial for high achievement. Willpower isn't always available, so it's important to use it when it's strongest. Do your most important work, your one thing, early before willpower is drawn down. Reserve your willpower for what matters most. Monitor your fuel gauge, eat right, and time your tasks for maximum success. Every day we engage in activities that diminish our willpower. Implementing new behaviors, filtering distractions, resisting temptation, suppressing emotion, restraining aggression, taking tests, trying to impress others, coping with fear, doing things we don't enjoy, and choosing long-term over short-term rewards. Willpower is depleted by these actions, so it must be managed like any other limited resource. Don't spread your willpower too thin. Decide what matters and reserve your willpower for it. Monitor your fuel gauge. Full-strength willpower requires a full tank. Time your tasks. Do what matters most first each day when your willpower is strongest. Build your days around how willpower works and let it do its part to build your life. Throughout this journey, we've seen that extraordinary results come from narrowing your focus to the one thing that matters most. Reject the lies of multitasking, equal importance, and endless discipline. Embrace the power of habits, manage your willpower, and prioritize your tasks. Whether in business, personal life, or any pursuit, focus wins. The path to more is through less. Choose your one thing and let it drive your success. Now that you understand the principles of the one thing, it's time to put them to work. Start by identifying your most important task or goal. Build habits around it, manage your willpower, and say no to distractions. Remember, success is sequential, not simultaneous. Extraordinary results are within your reach when you focus on what matters most. Unlocking the possibilities within you starts with focus. Live with purpose by priority and for productivity. Commit to your one thing, avoid the four thieves of productivity, and embark on your journey. Extraordinary results are possible when you align your actions with your most important goals. As we wrap up, remember that the doors to the world are wide open. Opportunities abound, but the path to more is through less. Focus on your one thing, build powerful habits, manage your willpower, and prioritize your actions. Extraordinary results await those who choose to focus. Let this principle guide your journey to success.